Welcome, everybody, to episode 5 of Marketing Uncensored, the one podcast you need to listen to if you want the actual truth on how ad platforms work. I'm Sam Tomlinson.
And I'm Collin Slattery.
So, Collin, welcome back. We have a stat of the week today. I'm
What's
so
our stat
excited.
of the week?
Stat of the week is 100 million. That is the number of YouTube premium subscribers as of a couple weeks ago, according to Google.
It's not too bad. That's
That is not too shabby.
coming up against I mean not exactly, but was that number 2 behind Netflix probably? Or close to Disney Plus?
It is right up there with both of them, which is honestly shocking. Um, well, that's according to the YouTube for Press webpage, where they crossed 100 million and they put it up and did a whole thing. So I imagine the actual number is higher, but that's what the YouTube Press people say.
Nice. Yeah, Netflix 300 million, which makes sense, and then no
Wow.
idea what Disney Plus is.
Well, maybe the YouTube Press people should actually update because it is actually probably higher than that because they released that number last year. So, never mind.
Or it's not going up at all and they're just like reporting
Yeah,
the
well,
same fucking
the
number.
other YouTube source that I have says 125 million. So, in any event, over 100 million. That is the number that matters.
It's a lot of subscribers. Are you a paying YouTube subscriber?
I am a paying YouTube subscriber.
You mean you don't watch the YouTube ads that you make?
I watch the YouTube ads that I make, but I also like to watch football.
Gotcha.
Ergo, paying YouTube subscriber.
Makes sense.
Yes. But this actually, so I was at SMX last week.
You were. That's why we did it in a hotel room.
I know, isn't it great? But I ended up talking to Ginny Marvin, ads liaison from Google, for probably longer than she wanted, but you know, that's how that goes.
Love Jenny.
Love Ginny. And we were talking, and I kept coming back to the fact that I am convinced that YouTube is the most undervalued platform on the internet.
I think that's true. I would argue that, yeah, YouTube has the greatest, undervalue in terms of price compared to what it's driving 100%.
Right. And when you really look at it, we were talking about this, and I don't think people agreed with me at first, but they agreed with me later because I was right. YouTube is the only social media platform that is not hated by at least one generation of people. It is universally trusted by pretty much everyone, from 13-year-olds trying to figure out how to do whatever math that they're teaching in school these days that's wrong, to 85-year-olds trying to figure out how to travel, install something, use a piece of technology, to the 55-year-old dude that showed up at my house to fix my HVAC and pulled up YouTube on his company iPad and matched up the little parts and then went through it.
I mean, it's funny you say that because we have an HVAC person in our house right now doing the deep clean on our split airs, and all I can say is I understand the HVAC roll-ups because I just got rolled the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. HVAC roll-ups are private equity has many things. Bad at pricing, they are not. Value extraction.
Well, I've been thoroughly extracted this morning.
So good news. Both your wallet and your HVAC system have been cleaned out.
Yes, that is correct.
Excellent.
Gonna need to make it all back on YouTube here today.
It's good news. Yeah. So I am just continually blown away that so many brands do not, like, every brand I talked to at SNX was like, yeah, we think YouTube might be a thing. Like it's like 5% of budget. It's 3% of budget. It's
like it's
thing we're
fucking
gonna
2016 or something when they're like launching bumper ads. It's like, oh, this
Yeah.
might be a thing.
And the amount of resistance that I heard about YouTube was staggering.
So this doesn't surprise me, and I'm sure it doesn't surprise you. And I think you look at what Google's doing, and they know this too. And it's because YouTube is hard to measure, right? And if people watched episode 4, where we talk about incrementality, that's really how you have to measure YouTube. And most brands haven't done it. Like, if you're looking at it at MTA data, it looks fucking terrible. It looks shitty in Northbeam, it looks shitty in Triple Whale, it looks shitty in Google Analytics, it looks frequently like pretty shitty in platform, right? And so, people are not used to how you have to buy YouTube ads. And so they don't run it. They're afraid of it. They're like, oh, can't do it. Which again is great for the people who do, because it makes it underpriced, because there aren't as many people bidding on it and they're not as confident bidding as much as they could. But yeah, I think that's the biggest problem.
I'm 100% there. I think the second biggest problem is for a long time, a lot of marketers have thought, oh, video platform means like Facebook.
Yeah, probably.
But I mean, the number of people who are just saying, okay, well, we take our best performing meta creatives and I put them on YouTube and it doesn't work. I'm like, well, no shit. Why would you think that would work?
Different circus, different monkeys. Like,
Yeah, like one of these is Barnum and Bailey and the other is the NHL. Like, I'm sorry. Did you teach your monkey how to skate, shoot, pass, and no?
I mean, I would love to watch that though. I'm not gonna fucking lie.
Yeah, it's insane.
Patrick, see if we can find that. Monkeys playing hockey.
Please let that be a thing. Please let that be a thing. It's insane. And I keep coming back to it. I'm like, why in the hell would you not want to be on the one platform that every person goes to learn about stuff, to figure out how to do stuff, to compare stuff?
And the amount of time that people spend on YouTube is
Yes.
staggering.
Yeah,
Staggering.
number one video platform by time spent, above Facebook and Instagram individually, but not together, above TikTok, number one.
I mean,
And
I know it's number one for me.
yeah. And the part that kills me is last year, YouTube advertising brought in about 36 billion in revenue. Meta brought in 165 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, Meta across all their properties does have more watch time. They do have roughly the same number of users. I think YouTube's like 1.5 billion-ish. Meta across all their stuff is like 1.8, 2, I'm sorry. YouTube is 2.5 billion-ish across everything. Meta's like 2.8 billion, give or take or give, depending on how you dedupe Facebook accounts and Instagram accounts and WhatsApp accounts. But
it's a lot of fucking people.
it's a lot of people on both platforms, but 36 billion versus 165 billion.
It's, I mean, again, like you could just
80%
underpriced.
almost 80% less revenue.
Yeah, I mean, we see that too.
Underpriced inventory.
We see that with CPMs, right? On average, with clients who are running both on Meta and on YouTube, YouTube CPMs tend to be about 30% the cost of Meta CPMs. And I don't think that's because they're 30% of the effectiveness, because they're not. It's just, people don't know how to buy it. There are fewer competitors. And, this is something that I said last year, beginning of last year, and I think is true today, right? And I think you look at what Google is doing and moving towards YouTube, is that YouTube is going to be the majority of their revenue, like their advertising revenue, before the end of the decade, because search is going to be degraded, right? Like competition from AI stuff, just the revenue they're going to get from search is going to be less. And
Right.
YouTube is this massive untapped giant that, they're going to be leaning into. I mean, that's the whole reason that Meridian exists.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, why do you build a giant open source MMM? Probably because you have a giant video platform that you have no idea how to prove the value of.
Makes sense.
I mean, if I ran a $2 trillion company that was actually probably a $4 trillion company if it was valued appropriately, yeah, I would probably do the same thing.
It's funny. I told Ginny when I was at New Fronts with her, like it was probably a month ago. I told her she should buy house. And I was like, you should talk to Olivia. You guys should buy house so you can do these measurements. And the most important part was a finder's fee for that transaction. So, Ginny,
Yeah,
legally binding agreement.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, though, shocking to me that they have not done more with this. Like, there was a thing going around Twitter yesterday about how Meta was offering OpenAI data scientists 100 tickets to sign on. Number one, I've never been offered 100 tickets, but should someone offer me 100 tickets,
You will
I will be
take it.
signing on. I will take it. I
Uh,
just want the record to reflect. If I'm joining the 2 Comma Club on one deal, yes, please, and thank you. Um, but why aren't you doing this with? Why is Google not doing this with House or somebody?
yeah, some holdout provider like again, pocket change for Google,
Yeah,
and
it's a rounding error.
it's like a couple hours of revenue.
Yeah, and I mean that this is the part that just drives me insane. Is number not only is it dominant in the video space, but YouTube is increasingly it's a top 3 podcast platform. There's a reason we publish our show on YouTube. It's not because we, are religious or believe in it. It's because it works. They have the NFL Sunday ticket deal. So if you want to watch out of market NFL games, you got to go there. 1 billion hours a day of YouTube are watched on TVs.
Yeah, more than 50%. And I think this is something that's mentioned in New Fronts, right? Like more than 50% of their watch time is now on television.
It's the biggest screen in the house. Like I know winning the small screen is nice, but the big screen matters too.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Well,
bigger
and
really
YouTube's
is
winning
better.
every fucking screen.
Yes. YouTube wins shorts, they win the big screen. The real piece de resistance would be if Google can somehow figure out a way to buy TikTok.
Ah, if I
Just for
mean,
fun.
if Google bought TikTok, well, they buy Trump another jet. That's how they buy
Yeah,
TikTok.
it's $400 million. Like, who cares?
Yeah. No, that would be fucking insane.
Yeah, they can just build him like, I don't know, the Trump campus at Google.
And speaking of campus at Google, I total aside, but I want to get it out there because the big companies have been rolling out the red carpet for agencies recently. I guess because they're very different from how it was a number of years ago, where they're like "fuck off." But I've been to
Yes.
Google, I think 3 times in the last 2 months. Their New York City HQ,
Yeah.
beautiful. They have a lovely like tasting menu restaurant inside of the campus where you have to go, obviously, because you're there at Google. And then I was at Meta yesterday, and the cultural difference could not be more stark. I went to grab a package of Ritz Bits, and a security person stopped me and was like, "Those are for employees only." And I was shocked. I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's only for employees, not for guests." And I was like, very different from the experience I get at Google. I was absolutely astounded at how stingy they were over at Meta.
So wait, Zuck's worried about the Ritz bits, is what you're telling us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was like, how many tens of millions of dollars do I give you every year? I think I'm deserving of a package of Ritz Bits.
Well, now you know that meta culture might not be as good. I mean,
Ritz Bits are
I
for closers.
well, clearly, Colin, you did not close.
Apparently not.
But this is the for years I have been on the Google is not dying, Google will be fine train, and everybody called me insane. But the further we get down this road, the more and more convinced I am that not only is Google in a very good position to win, but they are actually probably in the ideal position to be in from an ad platform standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, again, like they have, and that's why this episode's about YouTube, right? Like you mentioned it already. YouTube is the platform that everyone loves and uses and has an affinity for. Like the only people on Facebook are boomers. Like TikTok, yes, has a blend, but is aggressively skewed younger. Everyone fucking uses YouTube.
Right.
Everybody.
Correct. Left, right, center, old, young, educated, not, blue collar, white collar. Everybody uses YouTube, except for the brands that should be using it.
Yeah. Except for the advertisers.
Getting a brand to commit to YouTube. It's funny, like we have clients that will spend hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars on TV. The second you raise the idea of spending 30K on YouTube, they're like, wait, what?
That is wild to me.
And I think number one, we should probably just talk about what people get wrong about YouTube, which I think we've started to get into. But then number two, talk about, well, should you think about the platform? Because it's not a pure TV play. It is not a pure CTV play. It is certainly not a performance play in the vein of like a Meta or a TikTok.
Yeah, it's a great point, and I think a lot of people struggle with this, in that like YouTube is multiple things rolled together. It has multiple placements, right? Like
Uh-huh.
Shorts is completely different from in-stream, which is completely different from in-feed, right?
Yep.
And they get lumped together, and they're just they shouldn't be, because like Shorts, again, much more similar to TikTok or Reels, and the user behavior is more similar to those, and that's how you have to target it. But you know, in stream, that's much more akin to television
Right.
and needs to be
It's
structured that
CTV.
way. Yeah. Um, and people are just like, oh, it's YouTube. And it's like, no, yes, it's YouTube, but it's really a bunch of different things underneath the YouTube banner.
Yeah. And I think this is where a lot of Google's advice starts to fall flat because every time I've talked to their reps and their product specialists, all they tell us and all they tell me is, just put in like, one vertical video, one horizontal, and let us figure it out. And if you actually go into the UI and you do that, there's all those warnings that pop up, like your CPM might spike, you might lose visibility, yada, yada,
All the
yada. You
dark
might,
patterns.
all the dark patterns, right? But here's the flip. When you actually segment out, the performance of each individual channel is so much better,
Like
or
in
sub
feed,
channel.
my
Yeah.
fucking favorite, where the CPMs are like 35 cents, and it's just this incredible awareness driving, like educational
Yeah.
placement that is essentially free. Like the
Yes.
impressions are free. Everything is free. It's a free platform basically.
Yeah. I mean, we're trying it out with some of the whiteboards now, just for me. I mean, full disclosure, we advertise on YouTube, so do you. But like, I put some of our own money on it because I think it's that good. And it's, to your point, so cheap.
In stream not as cheap, but in feed fucking free.
Yeah. I mean, in feed is one, two, sometimes 30 cents, sometimes 80 cents. Like, it's nothing. Then you get into, I mean, even shorts aren't that bad. The CPMs on shorts are $5 to $10, which when you look at meta CPMs of late, that's a bargain and a half at twice the price.
Yeah. Um, Bringing up shorts, and that's something that I think important for brands that want to get started on YouTube but don't have, tons of money, or, willing to invest the money in sophisticated measurement, running holdout tests. Shorts are going to be the most similar to direct response, performance
Right.
advertising. And so they're the place where you can really just like phase one, right? Take your bangers from Meta or TikTok, drop them on a shorts only campaign,
Uh-huh.
and you're much more likely to get click based performance that you would expect to get from those platforms. So, say this all the time to brands that come to us, or brands where we're running their Meta in Google and they don't have any YouTube. Like, how do we do this easily? What's the fastest way to kind of jump into this? And the answer is always take your winners, drop them into shorts, see what happens. And a lot of the time they're shocked. They're like, oh, so we can just spend like a couple $1,000s a day on shorts with the
Mhm.
same fucking assets that we had from Meta, and the performance is great. And you're like, yeah, welcome. Welcome to YouTube.
Yeah. Welcome to the platform where impressions are roughly one fourth the cost of what they are on Meta, that has the same user base and the actually better targeting.
Yeah. Would you say that CPMs matter, Sam? Because it sounds like you're saying that.
I'm saying that The CPM is equivalent to the when you buy your CPM, you lock in your profit, right? Like at the end of the day, I don't give a shit what the number is per se. I care about what the value is on the other side and the delta between them. I have no issue paying. I mean, if I'm getting, if you're going to let me show my marketing services to 1,000 people that could hire my agency tomorrow that are all in market, yeah, I'll pay a lot of money for those 1,000 impressions. And I'm okay with that. But if I'm seeing general reach ads and it's a relatively normal distribution and it's relatively whatever, and I could either have it on platform one for 4x or platform two for X, I'll take X, please. Thank you. Like, I'm not going to pay 4x more.
Math checks out.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I think CPMs really start to matter is when you're talking about a delta that is basically it's basically profit for the platform,
Well,
right?
and
Like,
and and that again is relevant here in this discussion because that's true for the YouTube meta delta frequently.
correct.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think people just, and we've talked to brands about this, and they just keep getting it wrong, and it's infuriating. And I'm sure, you and Phil have talked about it. I know I've talked about it with Amanda and Mary and our creative team, is when you get winners on YouTube, you have to treat them in a way that is kind of similar to Meta and iterate on those winners and make more shorts. And you have to try different angles and you have to try different hooks and you have to be willing to put more and more content into the platform.
Yes, the adjustments and like okay, people are dropping off aggressively in the 10 to 12 second mark. Like what scene are we showing there? All right, let's move a different value proposition
Mhm.
into that section, right? Like there's a and this is I think the fun part, and it happens on Meta too, but I think it's less important on Meta than it is on YouTube, which is the because there's a ton of real estate, because I find the watch times on YouTube ads tends to be longer, right? The importance of going through and making changes to later parts of the video, trying to push your average watch time up, like all of that is super, super critical because it's not a, oh, I got excited, I clicked on it, I purchased it. It's, oh, I'm watching, I'm building this awareness of this brand, I'm building this affinity, I'm learning about this. Because the thing, and I'm speaking primarily about what people think about YouTube, right? Which is, the in stream, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the stuff that happens on the video is like you are interrupting what they are trying to do, right? Like I'm trying to watch how to improve my shit ass chipping, right? Like I'm ready to watch that video, and you throw an ad in front of me, like I'm not clicking and buying your chipping tool. I'm
Right.
going to watch my fucking video. But if you get me to watch 15 seconds of that ad instead of 6 seconds and skipping it, right? Like that is a massive additional value gain for the brand.
100% it is.
And so it's the time that you are engaged with the creative, the time that you're watching the ad, how focused you are on the ad, and like really getting all that messaging across and not earning the click, but getting me thinking about it, getting me aware of it. That's what you're trying to get because almost nobody's going to click on your fucking ad and buy when they're like watching a video.
Yeah, that's right. And, when we talk about monitoring the impact, one of the things that those attribution or incrementality platforms, please use incrementality platforms, not attribution, but whatever, right? One of the things they look at more and more is the search lift that happens to users who are exposed to YouTube ads. And it goes up and it goes up in a big way, which is really interesting. We had a brand a little bit ago that was running YouTube and they were like, it doesn't work, it doesn't work, it doesn't work. What works for us is search. Like, look at the branded search. It's just going up and to the right. I'm like,
Why do you think that's happening?
shall we posit a reason why all of a sudden, after years of no one searching for you, now That number has doubled over the same time period, roughly, that we started YouTube. Huh.
It's an easy way to measure it too, right? Go into your, I still call it fucking webmaster tools. I don't know what they call it
Search
anymore.
console.
Yeah. Go into your search console, look at your brand search, see how that is pacing relative. You don't need
Yep.
an attribution tool or a holdout provider to look
No,
at that.
just export it by month. Export the last 24 months. No, wait. They only give you 18 months now. Export the last 18 months. Some branded search. You're welcome.
And see what happens. That's an easy way to measure, right? Again, not the best way, but free.
But
it's a free
it's
way to measure.
$0. And if it goes up and to the right, that's good. And if it's up year over year, same month, year over year, that's a good indicator that,
We'll even see lift on non-brand too, and like non-brand search ads too, because this gets into the benefit of brand awareness and brand recall, right? If I've seen 6 YouTube ads from your brand and I've gotten like, we'll call it 100 seconds of your content that I've seen and it
consumed
is in
over
my
a
head.
period of time. Right.
Yeah. And then I go and search for, best tinted moisturizer and I see your brand name right there. And like we got logos now on those search results.
We
I'm
do.
like, oh, I know them from YouTube, even if I'm not consciously putting that together, right?
Right.
And I'm much more likely to click on your ad.
Yeah, familiarity breeds trust.
Yes.
It's almost like digital marketers have been telling lies for 20 years about one click to one sale, perfect attribution.
It was nice while it worked, but it was purely a massive arbitrage play.
It's true. But the part that has, I think, frustrated a lot of people is that a lot of digital marketers who made a living on lever pulling and essentially arbitrage are now having to do things like actual marketing and figuring out that, oh yeah, I do need to get in front of my audience. Oh yeah, I do need to go and do some of this top of funnel shit. Oh, I can't just live at the bottom of the funnel and pick off the lowest hanging fruit because it's too competitive at this point.
And this is something like every single audience is on YouTube. Every single one, like the kind of niche content that exists on YouTube, everything. The answer is everything.
It's truly remarkable.
Like leaf folding is probably a thing, and it probably exists on YouTube. I just made that up as a thing because I'm like, it sounded absurd. Leaf folding.
Oh, it is a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is a thing. Jesus.
Leaf
that's gonna
folding
ruin.
art. Oh my God.
It is a whole thing. There are literally tens of thousands of videos on leaf folding on YouTube.
All right. So, proven in real time, whatever the fuck exists in this world, there are people watching videos on YouTube about that thing, and even stuff that you make up because you don't even think it's a real fucking thing. It's real.
It's a real
and
fucking
it's on
thing.
YouTube, and you can advertise against it. Yeah.
This is nuts. That's gonna ruin my algorithm for a bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
But you know what? It was worth it.
It proves the point. Yeah, that literally everything is on YouTube and you can advertise against it.
It's a beautiful thing. It is one of my favorite things about YouTube.
Yeah, the audiences, the range, and I will say I think the targeting options on YouTube are generally very strong as well. It's like Meta 2015, maybe not quite that good, but
I think it might actually be better. Because I mean, even Meta in 2015, right? We had some restrictions, but it was real hard to just advertise against a specific page or a specific thing. You could add them, but it wasn't perfect.
Right. You did have the very niche interests, and you did have like a lot of the financial
you had the household
stuff.
income, and you had the total net worth, and you had the liquid net worth. Those were fun. But if you go to YouTube today, right, for certain campaign types, obviously targeting options are dependent on campaign types.
Yeah.
But Like YouTube ads for action, you can't do
Channels.
on specific channels. But if you are doing reach targeting, you have all kinds of fun things that you can do.
The video and channel targeting, and this is one of the things that we'll love to do um, historically, is if you're working with an influencer, right? And they have a
Mm-hmm.
big YouTube channel, run your ads with them on their fucking channel.
Yes, please do
Like,
that.
pretty easy.
It's very easy. It's too easy. But the other thing you can do is if you take this to the other extreme, right? Like an influencer or an affiliate is your friend. But if you go to the other side of the equation, right, and you go to competitors that you have a distinct advantage over, well, that sounds like a really good idea for some targeting, right?
Run your
Like,
ads on their YouTube videos,
especially if they get a lot of views, why would you not, right? Like, I mean, you're paying on essentially the cost per view basis.
which again, super cheap generally.
Yeah, it's it's just so incredibly targeted. Now, I mean, it's insane. I just cannot get over it. It's a beautiful thing. Like, it is a beautiful thing to be able to just go and, create these super niche audiences of people who you're like, you know what? I want to reach people who watch this channel, right? And you could even, I mean, you've been in here, you've done this, right? We get detailed demographics, you get all of their interests, you get search terms across all Google properties, you get YouTube channels. Like, it is a beautiful thing.
The targeting in YouTube is excellent. It is something that I think is underutilized. You've got tons of in-market audiences, you've got tons of affinity audiences. You can layer your custom data onto it. You can add fucking search terms, like just the options that exist for audience targeting are massive and open up a world of potential, especially from a creative standpoint, in terms of what you can do
Mm-hmm.
and how you can be targeting them, right? Like, you know, if you hit an affinity audience and it's a much more educational video and it's long form, it's educational. And this is one of the things that irritates the shit out of me sometimes with people, especially like people who advertise on TV and want to advertise on YouTube. They're like, oh, well, we got the 30-second and the 60-second cuts. And you're like, we have no limitations. Like, we have no restrictions really on video length. We could do a 2.5 minute ad if we want to. And sometimes you should, especially from an educational standpoint. And the amount of watch time that you will get is absolutely fucking disgusting. Um, One thing I actually do want to note on that, make sure you exclude, as a general rule, music video channels and like anything that's music video, like music related, because people are generally not watching those, and so the ads will just run all the way through because it's like playing in the background. So you can target those and you treat them as almost like podcast ads where it's like audio only,
Yep.
but definitely exclude those from your primary sort of video targeting. It tends to benefit. But the tangent, that was a tangent on the point of that, like, you can get 45 50-second average watch times, and like, how much is 50 seconds of someone watching your brand ad worth to you? And the answer is, it's worth a fucking lot. That's what.
Mm-hmm. It's worth a fortune.
Yeah.
And it is just, and keep in mind, again, it's goal dependent, but when you start getting into those placements, we're not just talking, to your point, about a creator's entire channel. You can put in a specific URL of a specific video on an efficient reach campaign as a placement, and it will run ads on that video. It is a beautiful thing.
Worried we talk about it too much. Google's going to take these options away.
I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And it's even better because you can layer that placement on top of your audience. So you can say, I only want the section of, I don't know, Joe Rogan's audience that's interested in whatever, right? And put in the audience characteristics that you want and then run it there. It's like, okay, well, I am getting the single most valuable segment of this audience to my brand to watch my stuff for 30 seconds, to your point, or 60 seconds or more. And unlike TV, where your ad cuts off after 15, 30, or 60, for YouTube, you can run that thing for as long as you want. Are you a I mean, like, it's a, it's a, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And people do watch that long, and that's the
Yes.
thing, right? Like, uh, and people always talk about watch time on Meta, and you're like, oh wow, we get 4 seconds or 6 seconds or
Yeah,
whatever.
those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up.
Yeah. And then like you look at fucking YouTube and it's like, oh, 15 seconds, 25 seconds, 40
Yeah,
seconds, right? Um,
it's incredible.
yeah. And it
It is.
and the problem is, right? And the problem for most brands is that they don't click on it. And so they're like, oh, I have no idea what this did. It's not working. Turn that shit off.
Which is, I think, the exact wrong way to look at it. Because what you're really doing is you're saying this is essentially, I look at YouTube as a hybrid between traditional broadcast, where I can select what channels I want to run on, what programs I want to run on, etc., and performance media, where I can target users. And it's really just the best of both worlds across every device, not just a big screen.
Yeah. And it's like I watch I watch like regular YouTube videos on my phone, right? I'll flip in
Always.
between, I'll be on my phone and then I'll go watch it on the laptop or I'll move it to the TV, right? It is seamless and uh, cross device, and people are watching it all the time.
Which they should be. And it comes with the added benefit of when you post a video on YouTube, you have a chance for that video to serve organically. Most of the time, meta ads, if depending on how you do it, right? If you are a baddie and you don't copy the post ID and you do those things, the ads you post aren't getting organic delivery. On YouTube, we've had clients post videos on for the purposes of ads that get thousands and thousands of views. It's like free views,
Yeah.
bonus ads.
And can turn and that's another thing that I think is under I think YouTube as a channel organically is underutilized, and that underutilization it doesn't negative I mean it does negatively impact ads, but you don't need to do organic YouTube in order to have the success with the ads. But if you're also active organically, channel subscribers, people watching other videos on your channel, like all kinds of earned views, like they're advertised on YouTube 100%. Do that right fucking now, even if you don't have a YouTube account. But number two, you should be working to build organically on YouTube as well, because again, more engagement with the brand, more interaction with the brand. Like you don't know if someone's going to watch your, how to install batteries in a new HVAC remote video. I bet you I can go to YouTube right now and there is a fucking like HVAC battery replacement video with 500,000 views on it.
Yep.
Like,
How to replace a dishwasher top rack. There's a video for it. Ask me how I know.
how did your dishwasher top rack replacement go, Sam?
It went fantastic. I watched some 55-year-old guy from like Indiana talk me through real slow, like, you got to take the thing out and you slide it, and then you move this thing right here and you put it in, and then you push it back in. And if it's smooth, then you're good. But if not, sometimes you got to fiddle with it. He was great. Shout out to Bob the appliance guy for doing good stuff.
And he's got hundreds of thousands of views.
Bob does have hundreds of thousands of views because he is very good at teaching you how to fix dishwashers.
Yeah. And that's the point, right? Like you might think, oh, my brand doesn't have content for YouTube.
But
The
you
answer
probably do.
is it it does, because everything's for YouTube.
Correct. I mean, and the best things you can do there, especially if you're like, we'll just use our dishwasher example, right? If you're a dishwasher appliance store, appliance manufacturer, and you're trying to drive sales of this, I guarantee you, your customer success or your product teams know the 50 issues that happen with dishwashers that are very difficult or expensive to replace. I guarantee it. You have a list of these. Make a video for each one explaining here's how you fix it. The old trick in advertising, make the easy stuff seem hard, make the hard stuff seem easy, right? Amazing. Now, what you've done is basically said to your potential customers, the ones who you know have a problem that's probably really expensive to fix for a dishwasher that's probably not worth it, you're giving them the tools to see for themselves that fixing this is not economical. It's going to be a pain in my butt. And what I really should do is just buy a new one. But oh, hey, this other manufacturer, this other company just literally told me how to fix it. That's really trustworthy. I should go buy from them because if they're going to help me out with something that's not even theirs, imagine how much they're going to help me out with when it's their dishwasher.
Yeah. And, and that's just organic content, which you can also then run as an ad.
Right. Then you just boost the content.
Um, and then, it's like, oh, we can have a video around, our favorite dishwashers at different price points, right?
Perfect.
And you can talk about it. And that could be a 5-minute video or a 10-minute video. And you're like, you know what? It's just going to be an ad. And I'm going to target people who are in market for new appliances. And, maybe
Right.
you do like a household income adjustment if you want to do that or whatever. But
I mean, or just, throw in like basic search terms on like dishwasher comparison, best dishwasher under, best dishwasher over. Go to your search console, pull up the search volume for each of these, go into Moz, pull up the search volume, and just make the video and then promote the video. And to your point at the very beginning of this, we're not talking about buying $20 CPMs. We're talking about, for a lot of these placements, 30 cents, 80 cents, $1 for 1,000 impressions.
Yep. Just, again, free. And with this dishwasher thing we're talking about, tons of videos on the best dishwashers for 2025 with just hundreds of thousands of views on many of these videos.
Right. And I mean, just like, and I mean, I know it's not a perfect method, but if you just think about what the cost would be to get in front of those people if you had to pay for it, for 100,000 views, you're talking easily $1,000, right? I mean, $10 CPM, 100,000 views is 100 CPMs.
Yep.
It's $1,000 right there for $0. And obviously, the CPM that you get organically, or the impressions you get organically, are worth more than an advertising CPM because these are people who actively sought out your content and watched it.
Yep. Blake at Boulevard Home, 100,000 subscribers on his channel about appliances.
Shout out to that dude.
You know who's making a lot of money right now? Blake, because he's got 100,000 subscribers and all he does is there's this middle-aged white guy talking about appliances. That's it.
AI is not taking that job yet.
Soon.
All right.
But not yet.
So next thing. The other issue that I think a lot of brands have, and you touched on this with like them analyzing the video, I think far too many brands are scared of different hooks. They're scared of deviating from traditional storytelling arcs on what they perceive to be a traditional storytelling platform.
And they can't be.
Right.
Because the iteration is key. And like the first lift with a YouTube video, and we're talking primarily again like in stream, right? Like getting people to not press the skip button as soon as it is able to be clicked. Like that's step one, right? And you need to play around with how you're going to do that, and also like make sure that people know who you are and what you're selling in those first 6 seconds anyway, because they're forced to watch that. And that's another thing. It's like, and I think from a meta standpoint, like lots of people come over like, oh, it's YouTube, whatever. and then not think, I have them locked for this 6 seconds. And they are
Mm-hmm.
paying attention because they are waiting actively for that skip button to show up in the bottom right hand corner where I can click on it. And you're like, okay, well, how do I maximize that? And they have to be thinking about that.
Yeah. This is where, number one, Meta does not have this. So I feel like advertisers have gotten much more comfortable on Meta just doing whatever outlandish shit you have to do to hook somebody's attention. Where YouTube, they look at it, they're like, oh, it's like TV. I've got 30 seconds. No, you've really got 5. Well, 6 technically, but you got 5 to get them hooked. So you have to be willing to try all kinds of different crazy shit that will get them to be like, oh, wait a minute, this is actually more interesting than the video that I'm running on.
Yes.
And that's the litmus test you have to use. Is like, if you are using placement targeting, open up that video, see how exciting it is, see what's going on, see how it's working. If it's a high energy video, then your ad needs to match that. If it's really informative or if it's problem oriented, then your video needs to match that or be better.
And you can do a lot of fun shit. I mean, you got a lot of real estate, you got a lot of screen real estate. Yeah, and you can get people. That's how you get people to watch um, a lot of seconds of content and forget the skip buttons there.
Yes. I mean, the best example of this is potentially Purple Mattress with their little Goldilocks commercials.
I don't get the purple mattress commercials. I'm not in market for mattresses.
Well, go watch Purple Mattress commercial. You'll be in market for whatever they want.
Oh
But I
boy.
mean, who doesn't love a little girl from a fairy tale dropping eggs on a mattress?
Yeah. It's
Like,
fun.
aren't you curious what's going to happen? Like, they time it perfectly so that she just starts dropping the eggs right as the skip button appears. Like, the person who cut that ad it is perfectly timed because there's no way you are clicking away when there are eggs like glued to a big ass piece of glass that is falling onto a mattress.
Yeah, you're gonna watch for the next like 2 or 3 seconds to find out what happened.
And then when they don't break, you're like, wait, what the hell? That's not how that works.
Yep.
Like, what hokum is this? And then they're hooked for another 20 seconds while little blonde girl from a fairy tale explains how a rocket scientist developed this stupid mattress. And yes, I bought one.
It works. Look at that.
It does. Of
Uh,
course, I did not click on the YouTube ad. I sure as shit didn't do that. I was a good little marketer, and I searched for the most expensive, non-branded mattress keyword I could find, found the purple mattress, and clicked on it.
Best mattresses for high income consumers. Click.
I was like, I don't want to admit that this worked, so I'm going to make it hurt.
And that's how you have to be thinking about the creative, right? Like it is 100% a creative platform in a way even more than Meta is a creative platform. And there are hacks that you can do, but you need to be thinking, and that is the literal perfect example, right? How am I keeping people watching?
Yeah.
How am I getting the messaging across? And one thing that we also like to do is you can put because you know where the skip button is on the video, so you can actually put like a little like rotating message or something right around where the skip button goes, so that like if they're watching the skip button, they're actually just like staring at the messaging that you want to be delivering to them.
Subliminal advertising.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's like you know what? I'm here for it. The other thing that I wanted to highlight, and we give Google a lot of shit, but I think they actually got this right, is they have rolled out, I think, to both demand gen and YouTube campaigns, the ability to select which channels you want to run on. So if you have a shorts video, you can just run it on shorts only campaigns with no fancy trickery, no bullshit. Just push the little button on the thing.
Select your channel.
It sounds like a little thing, but we've given Google so much shit over the years because you had to like upload a vertical video and target shorts placements and do all this like hackery to just get your short to serve not on the big thing with approximately 70% of the real estate blurred. But now you can just target it. You can target YouTube in-stream, you can target in-feed, you can target shorts. And then if you go to demand gen, you can target Discover and Gmail individually again. So if you want to just do Gmail ads again, you can do that.
It's great.
Beautiful thing.
Giving us targeting back is lovely.
Yeah. Little portfolio strategy, little separate targeting.
So we've been talking about just YouTube more broadly, and I think, it's probably good to get into some additional specifics for brands that do want to get started, how they can get started. I know we touched a little bit on like pull bangers into shorts only as an easy place to start.
Yep. That's easy.
What other things that you would recommend brands do, especially ones who have not, let's say, invested in video shoots? Or I mean, they can invest in video shoots, but like, how are people getting on and getting started with YouTube? Like, what do you like to do with, your clients?
So for our clients, we usually start with a few things. Number one is go back through your client, like go through their blogs, go through their articles, go through their press mentions. Generally speaking, find the topics that they are comfortable with. Every brand has all this, like every brand that we work with, I'm sure it's the same for you. They've got 50, 100 blog articles that are written once and forgotten about forever.
Yep.
But the people who work at that company know that stuff inside and out. They've got people who can, like Bob, the HVAC guy, right? Like he's probably written 100 articles on how to fix, I don't even know who makes HVAC equipment. Mitsubishi, yeah, I'm sure they do.
I know they do.
Right after Mitsubishi was done with their war crimes, they got into HVAC.
Yes,
and if you're not sure about that, go back and look at the history of the Mitsubishi Corporation. You'll find some shit. But start with the core stuff that you know inside and out, that you're passionate about. You have the content already. Great, that's one. Two, we usually go to SparkToro. We put in who our audience is, and we see what creators they're following, what channels they're following on YouTube, and we pull the top performing videos. So now I've got exactly what my target audience is looking at on YouTube, what we're basically going up against, and I have a list of what we're really good at, like what we're really good at and what we're really smart about, and what angles that our founder, spokesperson, CEO, marketing, whoever the hell it feels comfortable talking about. Okay, well now you send somebody off. You could do this with an AI agent and send it to go fetch the videos and script them and summarize them. Or you could just make an intern watch a couple hours of YouTube, or an account manager. Pick your poison, right? Go watch the videos that show up and see like, okay, what are they talking about? Where's the gap? Where do we have an angle? What are people looking for? Amazing. Jot down the 10 or 12 things that pop up. This takes, again, a couple hours. Go back to your client contact or your founder or your CEO and be like, look, here's the 12 topics I want you to talk about. Here's the scripts that I wrote based on these blog posts. You're the expert. Fill in the gaps. Tell me what I'm missing. Set up a phone, set up a ring light, and go team.
And that is a point that I think is critical to make and people don't think about from a YouTube standpoint. And that is, it does not have to be studio shot footage.
It shouldn't be studio shot.
Like, those types of ads do work, but it's completely unnecessary and not where you should be starting at all. You can, have some lighting, have a decent...
Yeah, please get a ring light. Please get a ring light.
Have some lighting, like have a modern iPhone, right? Like last couple generations, like no iPhone 6, right?
A Pixel, a Samsung, an iPhone, any of these will do. As long as it's made post-COVID, we're fine.
And that's it. That's all you need. Also
Correct.
related.
Oh, get a mic. That's the one thing I will say.
Yes.
Go on Amazon. You can buy a ring light, a tripod stand, and a wireless lavalier mic that plugs directly in via USB-C to your phone. You can get all of those things for less than $55 on Amazon, delivered to your house tomorrow. If you don't have Prime, you're just a baddie. So go get Prime. Like, go give Bezos some money.
And that is all you need. Yeah.
Right.
To
and
shoot
then
new
start
content.
shooting. And that's it. Just make videos.
And I think another thing that is important to note, and we do this all the time because brands, like, most of our brands are like meta focused, right? And so they have tons of 9:16 footage. You can repurpose that for 16:9, right? You
Yes.
can have like side by side, you can have like benefits, testimonials, you can put
Hmm.
content on the side of your 9:16 footage. Just because YouTube is a 16:9 placement does not mean that your 9:16 footage is completely useless. You can absolutely use it. You do have to tinker around with it a little bit, but that's what video editors are for. That's what creative strategists are for. Like, do not think
It's
that,
not
oh, we
hard.
don't have, big 16:9 studio stuff where it has to be 16:9 as base. You can
No.
adjust it to make it work.
The other thing is, if you are in that position, right? Presumably, if you are a client recording these videos, you have a marketing director, you have a marketing assistant, you have your agency partner, somebody's in the room with you. They also have a phone. Just record on two phones. Record one vertical, one horizontal right next to each other. Congratulations.
Easy peasy. I bet you there's probably a stand that holds both.
There is. There actually is. There are stands on YouTube that they have like the little flex arms and they will hold both.
There you go. Get it on Amazon and you knock out
You can
two.
you can sync the audio up very easily. It's not challenging.
I
Like
was
this is
I didn't even know those existed. I mean, I'm starting to shoot YouTube now. I have a giant whiteboard over here and just like
oh,
second
you're
phone.
copying
There
my
we go.
whiteboard series?
Yeah. Well, not taking it from you. I mean, we're all stealing from Rand and you're a big
That's
Rand
true.
fan. So Spark Toro, sponsor this episode.
Yes, this episode of Marketing Uncensored brought to you by SparkToro. Now that you've gotten like multiple mentions in here.
Yeah. Um no, I mean like
It is I
so
feel like
easy.
it is easy, it is straightforward. It is something that I think every brand needs to do. But the other piece that I do emphasize when we talk to clients is you should be thinking about two things as you record. Number one, who on my team can I build into somebody who is on social media, who is a face of the brand? So if you have a few people on your team who are rock stars and you're like, you know what, we're going to do some of these YouTube videos. Hey, I don't know, David, you're an expert on this thing. Great. We're going to bring you into some of these videos. We're going to shoot you and we're going to keep this going because the reality is, as people see you more and more, they trust you more and more. You get to have like this little niche expertise. You build up, essentially, you create your own creators so you don't have to deal with it as much. And they just so happen to be really smart and really good at the thing. That's number one, is like think about who we should be putting front and center. And then number two is think about what creators align with your target audience and start to figure out how you can either recruit them in or do something with them, because there's nothing that works better on YouTube than people who look like the people that you're trying to reach.
And this is something that I will give a lot of give Google a lot of credit for, is that they're getting much better at this. They now have their like creator hub or
Creators,
whatever the
yeah, the
fuck it's
creator,
called,
whatever they're calling it.
like
They're
where
making it easy.
yeah, and they should, because those creator partnerships, like it's true on Meta, right? But it's true on YouTube too. And most of the creators that you work with on Meta, on TikTok, on Instagram, whatever, like a lot of them are on YouTube too, because YouTube is a place that they can monetize very well. It's a place where they can get to know their audience very well. Like
Mm-hmm.
so much stuff is posted on YouTube and cross posted. So tons of opportunities to find creators on YouTube, and
It's a
Google has now
phenomenal
made it a lot
platform.
easier with their partnership hub or
Just
whatever the
don't get
fuck.
sucked into the usage rights deals. That's my only thing.
Yeah, well,
You
yeah,
pay a creator, you pay the creator for the content. It's your content forever.
yeah. If you are a brand that is still paying for usage rights, you
Stop
deserve what you
immediately.
get.
Do not go back. Like, it is not good. Usage rights are not your friend.
No, you own it. You made it. You paid for it. You owned it.
The creator is not Tom Cruise. They do not get a percentage at the tail.
And if the creator is Tom Cruise, fucking congratulations.
Congratulations. Amazing. You got Tom Cruise to shoot an ad.
Yeah, pay the tail.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you on this particular case are not stupid.
Yeah, you're doing great. In fact,
Sponsor our
Yeah,
podcast.
send us an email.
So, like, I mean, I think if you're watching this and you're like, I don't know what to do, like, get $5 a day. Every person who is running a company can afford $5 a day. You can't even buy a Starbucks coffee for $5 a day at this point, right? Go through, check out your competitors, check out what your audience is looking for, identify the 5, 10, 15 things that you can uniquely talk about. Go to Amazon, buy the stupid tripods, buy the little ring lighty thingy, and buy the little mic, and go spend 2 hours just making some videos.
And then
Upload them.
throw them in feed for the
Right.
like 10-cent CPM and
Correct.
see what
And then
happens.
do what Collin said. Go to the analytics, find where people are dropping off, find where people are getting pissed off, go to the comments section, see what people had to say, then go make more videos. Like, I feel like this is very much building a habit.
Yeah.
Like, we record whiteboards every week, we record a podcast every week. We just build the content creation habit. And when you build that habit, you get better and better. Like, the first 20 videos you make will suck. They will be terrible. No one will love you except for your friends and maybe your mother. But the next 20 will be better. And the next 20 after that will be even better. And by the time you get to 100 videos, you'll probably have a loyal following. You'll have a very good understanding of what your audience wants, and you'll have the ability to talk and to communicate with that audience in a way that resonates. And by the time you get to that point, you'll also be ready to spend serious money on YouTube, and that's where the magic happens.
Yeah. And YouTube YouTube is the largest scale component of Google for brands, right? Like the only area on Google generally that you are going to be able to get close to what you spend on Meta is on YouTube, right?
Correct.
And the scaling is also similar on YouTube as well, where like if you're running Google search, right, it's incremental scaling, it's 5% scaling, it's adding more
Right.
stuff. You can go from $1,000 a day on YouTube to $30,000 a day on YouTube in a matter of weeks. Like,
Yeah, with some banger creatives, yeah.
yeah. And you can spend that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can get close to, and I mean, it's not true for any of our brands, but I'm sure there are brands where it is true, where they spend more on YouTube than they do on Meta. Like it is the only
Yeah.
place in Google's ecosystem where you can get that kind of quick scaling, that kind of scale that you just don't get on search or shopping or whatever.
Yeah. And I do want to give a shout out to our friend Corey Henke, who has been like the YouTube champion since like 2015. This dude has
Yes.
been on it. Love Corey. Saw him at SMX.
He's
So
also been championing in feed for I don't know how many years now.
he's an OG when it
Yeah.
comes to the ways of YouTube. So I would encourage you to check out his channel and his content too if you're looking for more. But start with what we told you and then, go level up with Corey.
100%.
All right. That's it. That's all.
Go fucking advertise on YouTube.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in to episode 5. Come back next week. We don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but we're definitely going to talk about something. Press the bell,
Like,
the
comment,
button,
subscribe,
do all the things.
give us your hate mail.
I mean, sure. Send it to Collin at marketinguncensored.com. Thank you.
There you go.